Sir, wait.
Please check that. We did discussed about the small intestine in the previous class, about liver and the pancreas. So today, which part of the alimentary canal we are going to discuss about? Yes, we are going to be talking about large intestine. Before we continue, let's quickly recall what we discussed in the previous class. Okay, na? So Priyanka, starting from you, what happens to the food in the small intestine? Is the complete digestion of food taking place or no?
No, sir.
Complete digestion takes place here, no? Only thing
This,
that is remaining in food is now water.
okay, sir.
Answer what I'm asking. Okay. Abu, you answer to me. What is the length of small intestine? Priyanka, you can also answer if you know. What is the length of a small intestine?
Sir, is it 7.5 meter long?
Yes, 7.5 meter long. Very good. Okay. What are the juices secreted
The
in the...
exam.
Yes.
Sir, the correction for the exam.
Correction for the exam papers.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Did you guys had an exam yesterday or today?
No,
Sir,
sir, not
yeah.
not yesterday. So like 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay. Okay. Is
Yes,
that the case? See, I haven't received the paper. Okay, now. Once the paper will be checked, you guys will be updated with the marks. Okay.
no, sir.
Hmm.
I already got the.
You guys have got the marks already.
Sir,
Yeah.
I didn't take test.
Prinka, you didn't give the test.
Yes, sir.
Why is it so? Like, can I know the reason?
Can I do it Saturday?
Today, how you can do today? Like, that test has to be conducted. It's not like you can give it any time, I suppose. By the way,
Like,
how you guys are giving test? Like, it's on the portal, on the website you are giving test, or like
sir,
in
is,
live class? Hmm.
sir, I don't know, sir.
Abu, how did you attended the test? Because I have no idea regarding how tests are being conducted. Please do let me know.
Sir, they give you a. Sir, they give you a PPT.
Hmm.
Then you have to write like from that you have to write all the answers on the like no, on notebook, and then you have to
Hmm.
send the sheet to the the person who gives you the links.
Okay, to the counselor. Okay.
Yeah.
So see, Priyanka, in this manner, you have to give the test as how
Sir,
Abu described.
so,
Mm-hmm. Yes, Priyanka, go on.
no,
So
sir.
did you not receive the PDF? Did you not were you not notified regarding the test?
No, sir.
No. Okay, okay. I will talk to the team regarding this if that's the case. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Also in PDF, the pattern of the exam is such that you have to attend multiple choice questions in which out of the four options you have to take only one.
Okay,
In
sir.
short, like when if the pattern of the question, also usually the multiple choice question carries the marks of one. The weightage is 1 marks for one question. Okay. Talking about the very short answer questions, if the questions are of 2 marks, let's suppose, and it is a subjective question, you have to give definition, you have to define it, so thereby you should at least write 2 to 3 lines for the answer. Okay, now it has to be completed into 2 to 3 sentences. Getting it now?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so
Sir,
as the... Yes.
notes.
Yeah, notes, regarding notes na, I did provided it earlier in the yesterday to the team. Just after the class I provided it, but I will contact the team regarding this, why it was not provided to you guys. Abu, did
This
you
one,
check, did you receive?
Sir, what?
Okay, Priyanka, you were saying something, dear.
Nutrition in plants.
For that chapter, no? Okay.
Yeah.
For that chapter, note is left, no? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding. Today it will be sent for sure. Okay, now.
Okay, sir.
There has to be some addition in that notes. So thereby I haven't provided it yet. I will provide it today. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So for very short answer questions, you have to give answers in 2 to 3 sentences. For short answers, not very short. For short answers, it has to be at least in 3 to 4 lines. Okay. Then for long answers, the answer should be at least in 5 to 8 lines. Getting it?
Okay,
So
sir.
as the weightage of question increases, it should be lengthy. The answer should be little bit more lengthy, right? You have to explain it in detail. Anyways, also your marks are also shared with your parents. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Also, the checked paper is also provided to you guys. The PDF of your test paper. On your test paper, whatever remarks are there, it is mentioned there. For example, let's say in question number 1, you have done a particular mistake. So it will be mentioned in that page only. In that page, it will be already mentioned there, like you have done the spelling mistake or you have written something wrong in this. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
talking about the small intestine, it is that part of the alimentary canal where complete digestion of food takes place. So let's understand what are the functions performed by the small intestines. Do you guys recall? Like to know from you guys first of all, what are the functions performed by small intestine? Quickly. Abu,
Yes, sir.
can you recall anything from the previous class? What are the functions performed by small intestine? Like it receives secretion from the pancreas, from the liver. The walls of the small intestine also secrete some juices called as intestinal juices, isn't it? So we did discuss all this in the previous class, no? Please don't forget the basic things. Do I need to revise all this? I think I will have to discuss it again with you guys. You guys tend to forget things. See, talking about the liver, the small intestine, it receives different juices from different parts. Like it will be receiving some secretion from the liver and from pancreas also, which is behind the stomach, just below the stomach. As you can see in this image, this pancreas. You guys tell me, what are the secretions given out by liver? What does liver secrete? Okay, let me give some options. Does liver secrete mucus or will it be secreting bile juice? Talking about liver, keep that in mind. So what does it secrete? Is it A or is it B?
Sir, B.
B. It secretes bile juice, no? Good. So bile juice is stored where? Where is it stored?
Um, gallbladder.
You are a bit closer to the answer. Abu, you also try? Okay, hope you guys can answer it now. What is it? It's gallbladder. Look at here. This green structure that you see here, this is gallbladder. What does it store?
Sir, juice.
Which juice? Bile juice.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now
Bile.
bile juice is secreted by
Liver.
liver, and liver is the biggest organ or gland.
Gland.
Gland. What is the color of liver?
Reddish and brown.
Reddish brown gland. Okay, where is it situated? Is it situated in the upper part of the abdomen or lower part of the abdomen? This is your abdomen. This whole thing that you see here, this area is called as, okay, good. That is an upper part. Okay, now do tell me, what does this bile juice does? What is the function of bile juice?
Sir,
Abu, Priyanka?
digest.
Yes, it helps in digestion, but digestion of what? Let me give you options. Does it help in digestion of protein or does it help in digestion of fats?
Fats.
Very good. So we were talking about bile juice, and bile juice that is secreted by liver helps in digestion of the fat. Getting it now? So it makes it possible for the body to digest the fat. Good. Now coming to the pancreas. What is the color of pancreas? What is the color of pancreas? Is it yellow? Is it cream? Is it pink? Is it brown?
Sir,
Look
it
at
is
the image. It is?
bronze.
No, Abu. If you look clearly, it is actually cream color. Okay, na? Not brown. The liver is little bit brownish in color. It is reddish brown in color. Okay, na? So pancreas are creamish in color. Okay, anyways. What is the main function of pancreas? What does it do? You tell me its function, and Priyanka, you tell me its location. Where is it located and what is its function?
Sir, it located near stomach.
Below the stomach. It's better to say below the stomach. Okay, na?
Yes.
Hmm. Below and behind. It's not in front of the stomach. It's below the stomach and behind the stomach. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
You can see. I think it's not visible. It is visible here. Okay, na? You can see here. This the structure. It is pancreas and it is beneath the stomach, right now, and behind the stomach. So we did understood that. Yes, Abu, your turn. Tell me its function.
Abu.
Next, you will tell me pancreas. You will tell me Priyanka that what type of juice is secreted by pancreas? What does it secrete? What is its secretion?
Sir, the water waste.
Water wastes. Are you talking about function or secretion? See, the answer you are giving that does not make sense. I'm asking about function and its secretion. Priyanka,
Sir,
you are. Yes, Abu, I'm listening. See,
sir, its
it's
function. Sir, its function is to secrete.
no. See, function basically, whenever we
It is,
talk about function,
it gives pancreas, like it gives us some type of juice called insulin, and
so that's a different thing. You are going somewhere else. You're going somewhere else. It secretes pancreatic juice. Okay, na? Just in simple manner, just say that it secretes pancreatic juice. Okay, na? Its secretion is pancreatic juice. Talking about its function is to convert carbohydrates and proteins into simpler substances. So it helps in digestion of proteins and carbohydrates. Okay, na? So helps in digestion of carbohydrates and protein. That's it. Getting it now? So that is the function of it. So it will be acting upon the carbohydrate and proteins, and thereby it will be changing carbohydrates and proteins into simpler form. Hope you guys will not forget it. Okay. Another thing is about the intestinal juices. You guys know that the walls of the small intestine, as you can see over here, the inner walls of the small intestine it also secretes something. What do we call that? Yes. It secretes a juice called as intestinal juices. Why you guys are forgetting it? I think it is because the notes were not made since you guys haven't received it. That's why I think, huh? See, intestinal juices are secreted by the walls of the small intestine. Okay, now. So the food that has reached the small intestine, here we have seen that it is receiving secretions from liver and from pancreas that is helping in digesting fats and carbohydrates and proteins. Apart from that, you see the intestinal juices will also be helping in digesting carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Okay, now they also help in digesting. Just 1 minute. There's someone on the door. I will be back in a minute. Yeah, I'm back. So where was I? We were talking about intestinal juices. Okay, now. So far we have seen that the function of the liver, its function is to help you in digestion of fats, right? By the help of bile juice. Talking about pancreas, its function is to help you in the digestion of carbohydrates and proteins. Now, talking about the intestinal juices, it also helps in digesting it further, right? And it will also be helping in digesting it further. Like, what does the intestinal juices do? It converts the carbohydrates into glucose. That is one of the function performed by it. It converts the carbohydrate into glucose. Next, it will be converting the yes. Next, it will be acting upon the fat also. So what does it do? It converts the fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Do you guys recall this? Fat is converted into fatty acids and glycerol. Then what does it do to protein? Protein is also digested by it. You know, so far by the actions of other things, like we have studied that, see, the pancreatic juices also helps in digestion of protein, but it's not completely digested yet. Till now, it has not been digested completely. Till now, the fat was also not digested completely. Till now, the carbohydrate was also not digested completely. It was only when the intestinal juices were secreted which completely digested all these things. It completely digests carbohydrate, completely digested fat, and completely digest proteins also. So proteins were converted into amino acids. Now keep these three things in mind. Have a look at it. I will be asking questions from it. I'm giving you 1 minute to try and digest all this. Carbohydrates converted into glucose, fat into fatty acids and glycerol, then protein into amino acids. Okay. Can I change the slide? Yes, Abu and Priyanka.
Sir, what is after fats?
Fats are now converted into fatty acids and glycerol. Glycerol. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm changing the slide.
Okay.
Now, do tell me intestinal juices. Okay. Now, you tell me intestinal juices will be converting fats into what? Will it be converting fats into peptones? Will it be converting it into fatty acids and glycerol, or will it be converting it into maltose?
Sir, B, fatty acids and glycerol.
Is it correct, Abu? What Priyanka is saying? Yes, Abu. Intestinal juices converts fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, na? Now, do tell me. The question is for Abu. You will be answering this. Do tell me, proteins by the intestinal juices are converted into what? Is it converted into peptones, or is it converted into amino acids, or is it converted into glucose? Which of the following option is correct?
Glucose.
Glucose. Look again. It's protein.
So
Priyanka?
protein
Fats.
converts into
Hmm.
um, fats, right?
No,
No. Okay. B, sir.
it's amino acids. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
look at this slide also. Here it is clearly mentioned proteins are converted
Like
into amino acids.
I thought proteins and fats.
No. Those are completely different things. Now, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, all of them are completely different from each other. So, how can they be converted into each other?
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Now, if I were to ask you about carbohydrates. So, carbohydrates, out of these three, in which form it is converted?
Sir, glucose.
In glucose. Good. So, we did discuss all these things. Now, let's to talk about absorption of food in the small intestine. So this you will be making, for this you will be making notes. What you guys are going to do for the previous class now, leave 1.5 page or leave 2 pages to make notes for the previous class. Okay, now like you will
Okay.
be leaving one complete page, both the sides of one page. Okay, now so
Okay.
from a fresh page, give the headline, give the topic, absorption in a small intestine. Absorption in small intestine. So now what happens? The process of absorption will be happening inside the small intestine. The inner wall of the small intestine has millions of finger-like structure, finger-like projections, which are called as villi or villus. Okay, now if they are in too much quantity, when you count them in multiple, they you call as villi. If you were to talk only about single of them, so in singular it is called as villus. Okay, now so the singular is villus, plural is villi. Now each of the villi has it is having a network of thin small blood vessels which are called as capillaries. So what are capillaries? See, capillaries are nothing but just like you have got veins and arteries in your body which is carrying the blood. In the similar manner, understand the same thing about the veins also. But the more veins are that places where exchange of substances takes place between the cell and the blood vessels. Like you see, if you were to see that, let's say this is your muscles. These are your muscle cells, for example. So your muscle cells will be surrounded by some capillaries like this. Okay, now. So your muscle cells require oxygen. So it will be taking oxygen from the blood that is flowing in the capillary. Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to say? Our
No,
cells,
sir.
see our cells now, like see this is your cell, for example. Let's say this is your cell. Okay. Cell needs different things. It needs oxygen. It needs water. Isn't it? Isn't that the case?
Yes, sir.
Cell will be excreting some waste material also, like it will be excreting carbon dioxide, and some other wastes. So where will it be releasing all this? And where will be taking from where it will be taking oxygen and water? Obviously from the blood, no?
Yes, sir.
Right? So we have got tube-like structures in our body which we call as blood vessels. Like if you were to look at your hand also, some of the nerves are visible. Okay, you can find out of you can observe that. So you have mainly two type of blood vessels. Mainly you should say three types, you can say. Like you have veins, arteries, okay na, and they are very thin blood vessels. Blood vessels, when I say, I'm talking about tube like structures in your body in which blood is flowing. That's what I refer to when I say blood vessels. So you have very thin blood vessels called as capillaries. So capillaries are connected to all the cells. Capillaries are connected to your cells also. Getting it, guys? So oxygen and water will be provided to the cell via the capillary. And all the waste material will also be released from the cell and it will go inside the capillary. Are you guys able to understand this, what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Good. So each villus that you see over here, villus is the singular form of the villi. Villi are the millions of finger-like structures found inside the inner lining of the small intestine, and you will find it will be found in the large intestine also. So there are lots of capillaries inside it. Getting it now? So these are the blood vessels called as capillaries which are present inside the villus. Now, so far I hope it is clear. Now you see, if you were to look at the inner structure of the small intestine, what you will find that since there are millions of villi present in it, it increases the surface area of the small intestine. Suppose if I were to stretch out the small intestine, so you will find it is like this. The inner surface kind of will be looking like this. So it kind of increases the surface area. Try to understand this. It has not increased the surface area of it. Getting it, Abu and Priyanka? See.
Sir?
Yes,
No, sir.
not getting it. See, basically what happens here, these villas that you see over here, which we did saw that they are having blood capillaries inside them. Okay, now. So what is basically going to happen? Our topic is we are going to study about absorption in the small intestine. Okay, now. Now you can try to understand it in with this example. For example, what you can see now. You guys might have seen how the cleaning is done with the help of a mop. Yeah, isn't it? How cleaning
Yes,
is
sir.
done with the help of a mop. You attach it to a stick and you clean it. So what you see, bigger the surface area, bigger area will be clean. If the surface area of the mop is more, it will clean more area. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So you can understand in the similar manner, absorption of food is going to take place inside the small intestine. So the presence of these villi increases the surface area right now. So it increases the surface area for the, and hence it helps in absorption of the digested food. So these villas gives the inner walls of the small intestine a very large surface area for the absorption of the digested food. And the surface of the villas, it absorbs the digested food materials and then passes them to these fine blood capillaries. And these blood capillaries will now be passing it to the arteries. It will be passing it to the arteries. Getting it? Arteries and other blood vessels, to the arteries and the veins it will pass. So now you can see the thicker blood vessels. See the one that are more thicker. See this red one and the blue one. They are more thicker now. So what are they? They are veins and arteries. Getting it, Abu and Prinka?
Okay, sir.
So absorbed food is now via the help of these blood vessels, namely the arteries and veins, will now be carried to different parts of the body. So in this manner, absorption takes place inside the small intestine. Is it clear to both of you or not? Is it clear? Write what I'm writing. If you guys have any question, please ask now. Yes, Abu, is it clear to you? The walls of a small intestine has millions of finger-like projections. Projection means that it is protruding out from the surface. Like it's like a hill has arisen out of the surface. Okay, na? Like how an island is formed due to tectonic activities when two earth plates um, crashes into each other, a mountain is formed. So it's a projection. It is coming out from the surface. Getting it now? So they have millions of finger-like projection called as villi. Okay. Next thing is that each of the villi, singular one is villus, so it would be better to say villus. So each villus has a network of thin, small blood vessels called as capillaries. Okay. Now, what the villi is doing, the villi increases the surface area for the absorption of digested food. So the villi increases the surface area of the small intestine for the absorption of food. Note it till here. Another thing you should note that the absorbed food goes from the capillaries to other blood vessels, and from there it goes to the cells, and the cells utilize them to carry out their function. Out its functions. Note it quickly. Let's do one thing. How about I provide the screenshots of these slides to you guys? How much you guys have written, by the way?
Sir, the blue one.
The blue one. Okay, stop there. Okay, now just keep on listening to me. I'll be providing its notes to you guys after the
No,
class. Okay.
sir.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, Priyanka, repeat again.
Can we write now?
Okay, okay. If you guys are okay with that, then write it in the class. Okay, na?
Thank you, sir.
No issues. Also, you guys have understood it completely or not? It's a very important topic.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, there's a slight change in the last definition. See, I would like to make some changes here.
Okay,
See
sir.
what happens when the food goes. Listen to this carefully. Hold on for a moment, stop writing and listen to what I'm saying. What happens when the absorbed food goes into the cell? Suppose this is a cell here. This is a cell. In cell, you have got different structures. Like there's a structure in the cell which is called as mitochondria. Have you heard of this before? If
No,
not,
sir.
okay, if not, try to get familiar with it. Like just in your house, you have a kitchen where the food is prepared, right now.
Yes, sir.
So just like in this manner, you can understand like in the um inside the cell, this is a structure called mitochondria, where what happens, the food that you consume, let's say that you are consuming glucose, so glucose will be broken down. So remember the practice of breathing when you take in oxygen. So where does the body utilizes the oxygen? Have you guys any idea? How does body utilizes that oxygen? It utilizes to break that food, and thereby energy is released in that process along with carbon dioxide and water. Yes, are you guys able to connect it? Yes, Abu and Priyanka.
So the last one?
I'm saying that the oxygen that you breathe, it is help to broke down the absorbed foods. Like in the process, all this digestion process, the food has been completely broken down in such a form that now it can be absorbed by the body, or more specifically will be taken up. It's not ready to be taken up by the cells. So when the food goes inside the cell, suppose this is a very tiny portion of food that goes inside the cell, in particularly in the mitochondria. Inside this, what happens? Let's suppose this food is basically glucose, rich in glucose. So oxygen will react with the glucose in it and will release energy. So cells will now use this energy to perform its function. Are you guys able to understand this or not? Yes. Priyanka and Abu, is it clear to you guys or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, na? Okay. So the absorbed food goes from the capillaries to other blood vessels, and from there, THERE, from there it goes to the cells, and the cells break down the food to release energy.
Sir, you have to write this.
Yes, you guys have to write it. There's one more topic left in it. You guys answer one thing to me, that what were the three digestive glands associated with the alimentary canal? What were
Sir,
the three?
pepsin.
Repeat again.
Pepsin.
I'm asking about glands. Pepsin is a different thing. It's secreted in the stomach.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. What are the glands associated with the alimentary canal? Did you guys forget about salivary gland? Salivary gland. It is associated with the alimentary canal. Okay. Liver and pancreas. These are the three glands that are associated with the alimentary canal now. Okay, do let me know once you guys have written all this. By the way, who will tell me what was the function of hydrochloric acid? Yes, anyone? What was the function of hydrochloric acid? What does it do to the food? Guys, it's not that difficult. We have discussed that. First, it kills the. What does it kill?
Bacteria, sir.
Bacteria is good. Next, what does it do?
Sir,
Yes.
it makes medium acidic.
So that
Sir,
pepsin can. Yes.
sir, it also breaks the food.
Yes, it breaks the food. That is also correct. Apart from that, it activates the action of some enzymes like pepsin. Okay, now. So pepsin will work only when the HCl is secreted in the stomach. Okay. If too much of HCl is secreted, so thereby what will happen? Also, try to recall its answer. What do you take? You take an antacid now. Okay. Okay, there's one more important fact I would like to share with you guys. You guys know that fats in fats found in the goat's milk are much more simpler than those found in the cow's milk. Thereby, goat's milk is much more easier to digest as compared to cow's milk. You might have heard it from your parents also. Like goat's milk are easier to digest as compared to cow's meat. The reason behind is that fats found in goat's milk is much more simpler as compared to the fats found in cow's milk. Okay, now?
Sir, milk or meat?
No, no, milk. I'm talking about milk. Fat is found in milk also, no? Fat is found in milk. Have you ever seen like if the milk is very creamy, yellow color, fat-like molecules will accumulate above the milk?
Sir, you can make it the milk thicken anyway. Like
Yes,
even goat's milk, you can make it thick.
yeah, you can do that as well. But do remember the fact which I have told you, okay, now? Also, like you guys should have asked this question to me. Like we did talked about like normally when we talk about nutrients, there are different type of nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins and minerals. Different type of nutrients are there. So why we haven't talked about minerals and vitamins? They are also present in the food now, like vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin K, calcium, iron, huh? So the important fact about minerals and vitamins which are present in the food, it's is that they do not need to be changed. There's no need to change them. Cells are able to absorb them as they are. Getting it, guys? It's very important, which I what I have told you. Let me repeat. The minerals and vitamins which are present in the food, they do not need to be changed. Our body cells are able to absorb them the way they are. Is it clear? So you guys have noted it or not, absorption in small intestine?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Now, now after absorption, there's one more thing which we are going to discuss about what happens here in the small intestine. That step is called as assimilation of food. Assimilation of food. Yeah, sorry. Now you guys know that blood carries the absorbed food from the small intestine to different organs of the body where it will be used. Look at this image. The blood carries the digested food from the small intestine, and via the blood vessels it will go to different organs in your body where it will be used for some purpose. So for what it will be used? It will be used to build complex substances such as proteins. Okay, now. So blood that is carrying the absorbed food. So blood carries the absorbed food to different organs in the body where it will be used to build some complex substances. For example, proteins will be built here. And you know that proteins are required by the body for growth and repair of tissues. You should note this down as well. So organs where it will be used to make complex substances, example is protein. Now protein, doctor would recommend you to take food that is rich in protein because protein is required by the body for growth and repair of the body tissues. So there the absorb would be used. Getting it now? So this here is called as this here is the final stage in the process of digestion. We did discuss about digestion. We have been talking about this digestion so far. This is the final stage in the process of digestion, and this is called as assimilation. Okay, now I will be writing a definition for it. Let's discuss few other things also. Now, you know, in the cells, we have talked about the foods are converted into simpler substances. Like, have a look at this one. Like in the small intestine, we did discuss that this carbohydrate is converted into glucose. So further, when this goes into the cell, now what happens to it? Let's discuss about that also. So I did told you about this thing. Like in the cells, glucose is broken down with the help of oxygen, and thereby it gives you energy, carbon dioxide, and water. So that was about glucose. What about other components? Like what about amino acids? What is the use of amino acids? And also you guys, I think you guys know what amino acids are actually. Earlier they were proteins. Intestinal juices converted proteins into amino acids. Okay, now. So glucose glucose plus oxygen. It is converted into, it basically gives you some energy, carbon dioxide along with water. Talking about amino acids. So amino acids, they were actually earlier they were actually were protein. So they will be used for building and repairing of cells. What about fat? Fat is also found now. What happens to the fat that goes into the cell? Yeah. So we have discussed like fat actually gets converted into fatty acids and glycerol. So inside the cell, fatty acids and glycerol, they basically act as energy reserves, and they will be stored under the skin. Right now, where is fat accumulated in our body? It is stored under the skin. It is stored in the space found between the organs. That's where the fat is stored in our body. So the fat and the fatty acids and the glycerol, they act as energy reserves. So you will find that if you were to eat less food, so thereby your body will start to burn the fatty acids and glycerol found in your body, and you will become leaner. Is it clear to all of you so far or not?
Yes.
Okay, now let me quickly revise all this quickly. Quickly revise all this what we have discussed. We talked about absorption in the small intestine, where finger-like projections like villi found in millions, the singular one is called as villus. It helps in absorption of food. How? It is enriched by the presence of capillaries. Capillaries takes in the absorbed food, and via the veins and arteries it goes inside the cell. Inside the cell, what happens? Inside the cell, this is what is going to happen to the food. Glucose will be broken down with the help of oxygen to give you energy. Carbon dioxide and water are released as the byproducts. These will be excreted from your body, like when you will be breathing out, that is exhalation. Via exhalation, carbon dioxide will be removed. Water will be removed in the form of urine or sweating. Getting it, guys? Amino acids. All these glucose and amino acids and the fatty acids and glycerol, these are the final and the simplest form of the different components found in the food which we have eaten. Hope you guys are able to recall that. Do you guys remember about the intestinal juices that are secreted in the small intestine, which were converting carbohydrate into glucose? It converted the protein into amino acids, and it converted the fat into fatty acids and glycerol. Is it clear so far or not?
Yes.
Yes. So all this here, where the food was only being absorbed, it is called as absorption in the small intestine. And now when the food is broken down and when it is stored in the cells for energy or to get instant energy, this is called as assimilation of food. So are you getting the difference between absorption and assimilation?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Sir, I realized one,
Yes.
sir, when jogging, right? And then,
Mm,
like if you keep jogging and then like you feel tired, but then when you intend after that, when you intend to run, you won't have any problem
You won't have any problem in
running.
running. Okay. So what is the question in this?
Sir, it is not a question. It is that
Okay,
I'm
okay.
saying. I'm not
Advice, sir.
Okay, okay. So basically, that generally happens right now. Also, if you run too much, you might develop muscular cramps as well. Getting it now. So thereby, what happens here?
like uh, if you if you run till your limits, then like you basically the tissues uh, they tear and then new tissues grow. So then when the new tissue grows, they like they like one or two tissues like grow extra. So then that's
Mhm.
how it's when you
Yes.
uh, that is how you can more faster if you
Exactly, exactly. See, basically, if you were to talk about muscle building, what basically happens in muscle building when you are exercising your muscle tissues? So many muscle tissues are breaking. So when new sets of tissues grow, they grow bigger in size. That's how the muscle mass increases. Talking about running, normally what happens, like if you run too fast, so thereby you at that time you will be getting in lesser oxygen in the body. Your breathing rate, it increases, but actually the oxygen that was getting the amount in which oxygen was going to your cells earlier, it will be comparatively lesser. So in that case, what happens? The glucose will be broken down, but it will be broken in the presence of less oxygen. So an acid is produced in that case, which is called as a lactic acid. That's how muscular cramp develops, and that's why you feel pain after running for a while. Anyways, that's a different thing. We can discuss that sometime later on. So we have now completed the process of digestion. The whole digestion process we have discussed in the case of humans. Okay, now We still have to talk about digestion in other animals, like how amoeba takes its food. How
Sir, what about large intestine?
yeah, I completely forgot about it. Yeah, large intestine is left. Yeah, thanks for reminding. Now let's see what happens in the case of large intestine. So simply what happens to the food in the large intestine is that whatever water is left in the whatever water is left in the food, so it will be now absorbed by the large intestine. Now you guys look at the image of the large intestine and to tell me why we call it as large intestine.
It's bigger thing, sir. It's very big.
Thickness is
Yes,
more.
sir.
Its width is more. Okay, now. So what happens? The food that is digested in the small intestine, now it will go into the large intestine. So here what will happen basically, it will be absorbing the water, it will absorb the some vitamins is also absorbed in the large intestine right now, and thereby now the food converts in this into the feces. It converts into feces, and this large intestine will be propelling the feces further, and thereby it will go into the lowest part of the large intestine, which you call as rectum, and rectum opens into anus. That is the anus from where the solid waste from the body will be removed. Okay, now. So we'll be discussing about it again in the next class right now. And let me tell you what is left to be discussed in the class. We are going to talk about this problem called as diarrhea, why it happens, how it can be cured. Right now, what should be done if someone is suffering from diarrhea. Next, we'll be talking about digestion in the grass-eating animals. You might have heard of this, like a cow has got 4 stomach. Have you heard of this before?
Sir, I've
What, sir?
heard.
A cow has got 4 stomach. It is said that a cow has 4 stomach. How true is that? We will see later on. But have you heard of this?
Sir, not true.
Yes, it is actually not that much true. So we'll be discussing about it in the later classes. We'll be talking again about what is rumination, all this, and how amoeba takes its food, how the food is digested inside the body of amoeba. Getting it now? So all this are left to be discussed. We'll be covering that in the next class. So there's one more class left in this chapter, and we'll be covering it. After the chapter will be finished, there will be a test conducted by me in the class. Okay, now? So we'll be doing some questions. Okay. Now we would end the class with one question. Food in the stomach gets converted into a form. What do you call that as? It starts from C.
Sir, what?
Food in the stomach. When food from the from the food pipe goes inside the stomach, it is mixed with the different type of juices like pepsin, mucus, and hydrochloric acid. It is churned down by the walls of the stomach. It is churned down, so it converts into a paste like